You've never seen a pole barn built like this before. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today is going to be an exciting video because we're finally getting to enclosing our pole barn. This is going to be a 2-day build, so we'll capture as much as we can today, and then we'll get the final enclosure in a follow-up video. The first building that we put out here on Piney Grove was what we call the mega shed there, and that's a Carolina carport built building. And it uses tubular steel and sheet metal, of course, and it's on a concrete pad. But our pole barn is more of a hybrid building. And by hybrid, I mean it's not built exactly like the Carolina carports, and it's not built exactly like a pole barn. And the reason that we went with two different type of buildings is because we have two different type of purposes for them. The mega shed is going to be used for equipment and a workshop and that type of environment. It's got a complete concrete floor. And this is more hybrid because it's got a workshop here on the end, and then it's going to have animals in the enclosure, animal stalls. We're not sure if we're going to concrete it or not. And then on the other edge of the pole barn, there's a lean-to where we're going to store equipment. But let's talk about how this started from the dirt up. This is a little bit of a wider shot, but our land slopes from my right side to that side. So the mega shed is up on about a 4-foot berm, and the pole barn is downhill from that, but that also continues on a slope. So what we had to do was we had to add a little bit of dirt on this end to make the pole barn taller for any water coming down the hill. Because of the natural slope of the land, we had to make this side about 4 foot taller. All this dirt came from our pond dig, and initially we were going to have a 40 by 40 building, but this one is 32 wide here, 60 foot long, and then it's got a 16-foot overhang on that side, and that won't be enclosed. The reason we increased the size of the pole barn is because this is a multi-generational homestead, and we moved my folks from Virginia down here last year, and my dad needed a workshop and a place to put his lifetime accumulation of tools and stuff. So we made the pole barn a little bit bigger, gave him this 12 by 32 section here on the end and walled that off so he has a workshop, and that also created a loft for us above that workshop. When we had this enclosed, we had a lot of ways we could have done it. We could have gotten with the people that are doing the rest of the enclosure now and done it with galvanized metal, or we could do it regular stick frame with 2x6s on 16-inch centers, or 2x4s along there on 16-inch centers. And the reason we went hybrid with this is we are in a high wind environment here in Florida, and we wanted this end, this gable end, to be really strong and tied from the concrete footer all the way to the top. And also it's hurricane strapped all the way up. So the building behind me is wind rated 180, 190. This would probably withstand more than that. It is way overbuilt. But what we did here at the end of the shop, where the shop ends, we have a little L section. So we have another 12 by 12 section here by this second window. And that is where we're gonna store feed and stuff for our animals. So that has a door going right into the pole barn area that's open. And then this is the stall area. And you can see where we put the sheet metal up high here in case there's any predators like bobcats, coyotes, things like that. For animals that could possibly get up above that red sheet metal, we put 4-inch by 4-inch cattle panels up there. That makes us very secure on this side, but it also allows a lot of airflow across where the animals will be. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention the concrete. What we did for concrete was we have the floor of the shop here, the 12 by 32 shop is completely concreted, and then that 12 by 12 feed room is concreted, and the rest of the pole barn has a footer all the way around it. And what that footer does is it gives us something to build these walls on, but it also anchors these 6x6 wooden posts so they can't pull out in the case of a hurricane or a tornado. So here's our 16 by 48 lean, and this is where a lot of my implements will go. It's just got my trailer right now. And this is the stairs to the loft. So this loft has 12 by 12 area here, and then it has a 12 by 32 area here. And you can see we're framed all the way up to the trusses, and we're tied from the truss all the way down to the concrete with these galvanized cables. You can see those same cables over here. He's gonna build the metal framing around those cables. And what that does is that keeps down pressure on the trusses in case wind gets in here and tries to lift up our roof. So now the next step is to enclose this portion, which will have metal going all the way up, just like the other gable end. And then that edge over there will have 4-foot metal, and then that same type of cattle panels over there so that there'll be airflow. There'll also be 2 windows here on this end, and we got to determine how high they're going to go. I don't know if you can see it behind my truck back there, but that well house built around where our well and pressure tank is, Sergio built that earlier this year. So I called him and asked him if he could do our pole barn in the same way with the metal framing, and he said he could. Deb and I measured everything, and then he came out here and made a trip just to double check my measurements. And between the both of us, we got real good measurements, and he was able to pre-build a lot of this back at his shop, which is an hour or 2 away. There will be a little bit of customization, but most of it is pre-built. We talked about wind loads earlier, and what we did was we designed this header bar, and that header bar is supported by these verticals, but it also gives some structural integrity all the way across the 32-foot span. And then he'll take these verticals and then frame up here to where he has the metal attached to the trusses. And all that will be very similar to the other end, which was framed in wood, but that's the way that we thought would be the best so that that didn't bow in and out with wind load. That's going to give that the rigidity that it needs and also support the roll-up door. In anticipation of an electrical roll-up door, we actually have an outlet up there already. Eventually, this will be all animal stalls. And the idea is you come in and hit that switch and that roll-up door goes up, and there'll be a cattle gate there so they can't get out. So they'll get airflow from the top over there. They'll get airflow over here because this wall will only be 4 foot tall. And then they'll get airflow out the end. And we also have pre-positioned, when we had the electrical done, places there and there to put 2 ceiling fans. So we want lots of airflow in here. But if we find it gets too warm in here, even with the fans and all the ventilation, then we may spray foam the ceiling here or the underneath of the roof deck. And that'll definitely cut down on the temperatures. But we've been in here when it's been 100 degrees outside, and with it open like this and airflow, it's very manageable in here. So as much as Sergio pre-cut a lot of the pieces he's gonna use, he will have to make some custom cuts because, especially on these verticals, he wants them to be exactly correct. So what he's marking out now is the notch for the cable, and that'll be a lot like this one right here on the bottom. This galvanized cable with like 5,000 pound working strength goes all the way up to the truss, and it keeps the truss from lifting on a high wind load. The way that we have the header attached to the wooden 6x6 is we have a long lag bolt, and then the verticals that go to that wood are also held by lag bolts. And then the base rail is held to the vertical with these L brackets, and they're on every stud. Every stud has an L bracket. And then this base rail is held into the concrete with an anchor. We got the first vertical going up. That's going to go on top of the header and then catch the angle of the truss. And then he's already got the L bracket screwed to it. And now he'll just screw them into the 2 1/4 tubing. We're gonna put Sergio's information down below. Like I said earlier, he put together our well house and he built that from the ground up, and that's typically the work that he does. This is more customized, and he did this more as a favor for me. And we got a Miss Piney Grove sighting, just like a blister, show up after the work's done.
You don't seem to be doing anything.
I'm not doing anything either. These guys are doing all the work. So we're making progress. So they're fitting the second window here, but the first window is framed out already. You can see they put the metal horizontal in between the vertical studs, and then they put 2 horizontals on each side, or 1 horizontal on each side of the window. The way these windows are put in on these metal buildings is you bridge the gap between the 2 verticals and you mount your window, and then you take your tin and marry it up here with your J-channel up there. They say they're ready to put up the first panel, and I'm ready to see a little red on this side of the building. We'll show you what we got. It looks like it's all one piece. I don't know how far up they're going. They might go all the way to the header. Here's the inside. So this pole barn is 4 feet up here off a grade, plus that ladder is on top of the grade. So when you're on top of that ladder, you're up there a ways. I guess what I'm saying, it's a long way to fall down from there down to here. The good news is the red on the front is matching the red on the side. There it is from the inside, the first strip. Got some more metal up on one side, and now they're gonna work on the other side where the window is. Starting to feel a little bit like a barn now. That's what it looks like as far as the red. And the roll-up, if I haven't mentioned it, the roll-up will be white. Some more gable tin going up. They just put that piece in up there. They just have the peak left to do. There you go. We got the last piece in up on that gable. Now the only siding left is on this side of the door. We got multiple things going on here. We got the garage door guy checking the measurements to make sure that if everything's framed properly for the roll-up door. And then we got these panels going on. So we went from not a lot going on as they were doing a lot of measuring to way more going on than I can record. All right, we're all set for a power roll-up door. You can see the socket is up there to power it. But what we got to do, he said he needs that to be continuous. So on both sides, we got to get Sergio to put a short piece of metal to fill in that gap right there, because that's where the upper track of the roll-up door will go. And right now it's just a void and there's no place to attach it. Once Sergio puts in that little stub of a stud in there, then it'll be ready for the roll-up. And when Sergio is done tomorrow, then Keith will roll in a week or so and put up the door. I think he said he has the door in stock. Sergio's putting the finishing touches on the second window, and then he'll cut out that metal for that. Deb, you've been running Bella. Now you're coming out, check out the pole barn. What do you think?
I think it looks amazing. I can't believe they got all of this done today. Framed, the red's up, the windows are getting cut out. It looks wonderful. I'm excited to pull up onto the property and see the red. Can't wait till the door's installed. We got New York in the house today. We got Mo.
We got two for the price of one.
And the mic's on my chest.
So Mo, what do you think?
I think it looks fabulous. Looking forward to putting my camper somewhere over there, right, Brad?
And just like that, the second window's cut out. Everything will be trimmed in white, the two windows and the roll-up door. So there's the window with the J channel on it. And he's putting the screws back in the panels. They have to loosen those panels up so they can get the J channel in behind it. He's got the Z channel here along the bottom, and that's mainly trim, and it also kind of deflects the water. So he'll do the same thing with the Z channel here. The reason we're doing Z channel is just to match the rest of the building. You see we got Z channel down the whole side. And again, it's a trim piece, but it also deflects water. So as water comes down here, it'll hit this and then come off. So they get everything fitted tight, and then they come back and put the bottom trim on. Just gonna cut off that rib right there so that he can get the Z channel in there. So when you do a metal building, you have a choice of color match screws or Galvalume. So we went with red for the red metal, and then we got white for the white trim. Put in that screw to hold it. I'll put a couple screws coming down the side here, and then the roll-up door will be trimmed out. The roll-up door install will be in a different video, but this is the way it'll fit. Then the roll-up door will fit up against there like that. And this is actually the look that that pole barn will have, except it'll be red around it. And that's how a roll-up door attaches to a steel-framed building. They put their rails on top of the vertical rails that will be in the pole barn. And in the one that we're getting done in the pole barn, it's actually gonna have a motor on this side, and it'll be powered. We put an electrical outlet on this one to power it later. And we talked to Keith, the roll-up door guy, and he said he can power this cheaper now than he could just a few years ago, because the prices have actually come down on the retrofit motors. So that's good news. We're gonna save a little bit of money. All right, guys, this is the end of day one. They've got the gable end completely done. They've got trim up on that left side there, trim around the window, trim around the roll-up door, and trim around this window. And they also put white trim along the top edge there on the eave to give that a nice finished look, so it's not just cut metal there. They're gonna work a little bit longer and start the side here, and then they're gonna go home for the night and finish tomorrow. But that's gonna do it for day one of the Piney Grove barn enclosure. Stay tuned for day two when we finish up this job. Until next time, y'all take care out there, and remember, life's short, tractor hard.